My name Wale, and I'm a Virgo. Look. Special occasion. Yeah, I put that Mac down, she put that Mac on. That mean I got more game than that Capcom. I applaud her, I take my hat off. I give her good, she call me Hacksaw. Jim Duggan, Margella, every color. This loving, you get your groove, so stellar. And you ain't even gotta ask. Might not be your first, but I'm better than your last.
Sweet, make a fella spend money that he don't got. Cause it's that high, better be good. You better be good. Yeah. If I'ma get it so damn, shown up, keep a man at home when I put it on. You better be good. You better be good. Yeah. If I'ma get it, Lord have mercy, keep you thirsty. I'ma need you to prove you're worthy. You won't find another like this. Need to know that you know what to do with it. See, baby, what I got, one and only. And if you want this love, come and show me. But you gotta be good. You better be good to me. You better be good to me. This thing here is one and only. You better be good to me. You better. If I'ma give you this, whoa, can't tell me no. When I put on a show, anything I ask for, you better. If I'ma give you this, so my, no lie, so damn good, make a grown man cry. You better be good. Whoa. If I'ma give you this, Lord have mercy, keep you thirsty. I'ma need you to prove you're worthy. You won't find another like this. Need to know that you know what to do with it. See, baby, what I got, one and only. And if you want this love, come and show me. But you gotta be good. You better be good to me. You better be good to me. This thing here is one and only. You better be good to me. You better be good.
Work.
James.
Okay, I know what to do with it. 4 minutes cool, girl, I'm a fool with it. I'm more than happy, just throw it at me, I go and get it. This Louis rag is a yellow flag, no, I'm official, huh? You know I'm giving you the biz, girl, huh? Don't be denying what it is, girl, huh? Put it in your life and your ribs, girl. Keep playing with me, you gon' get it like an intern, huh? In turn, I make your lip burn. No doubt, toes out, I make them curl. Make your dreams real, change your whole world. Cause you don't never wanna leave, you go, girl.
Don't get it messed up, I'm special. And not everyone knows how to care for me, no. So if I give you a chance, I'ma need you to show me that you know what valuable is when you sing, yeah. Baby, what I got, one and only. And if you want this love, won't you come and show me? But you gotta be good. You better be good to me. You better be good to me. This thing here is one and only. Baby, what I got, one and only. And if you want this love, won't you come and show me? But you gotta be good. You better be good to me. You better be good to me. This thing here is one and only.
Honestly, I'm trying to stay focused. You must think I got to be joking when I say I don't think I can wait. I just need it now. Let it swing my way. I just need some love. Tired of with these lines, baby, I just need a thug. Won't you be my plug, ayy? You could be the one, ayy. Get started with a handshake, baby, I'ma need more than a hug. Girls can't never say they want it. Girls can't never say yeah. Girls can't never say they need it. Girls can't never say nah. Girls can't never say they want it. Girls can't never say how. Girls can't never say they need it. Girls can't never say
Like It or Not starts now.
I don't hear.
I'm muted myself. Sorry.
Good morning.
Uh,
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, Rebecca Azor. How are you today?
I'm doing
I'm on,
good.
I'm on the road, so you got to
That's
forgive.
okay.
I don't have the right camera or the right microphone, but we're here.
We're here, and I appreciate you being here. I know that it is hard to try to get this show popping. Here we go. I was just trying to get everything together.
I'm just nodding my head like, I know she's saying something good.
But anyways, when you got life, and personal life, whatever is going on, traveling, things like that, it's hard to take the show on the road completely. But you've done a great job in doing that. So thank you for being here with us. How's your week been so far? We got to do a week check-in. How's your week been so far?
The week has been weeking. This has been an extremely busy week, but you know what? I'm grateful. It's been a good week, even though it's been extremely hectic. How about yours?
My week has been a week. Okay. It ain't nothing bad or anything. I just went home. My parents' birthday is on the same day, September 9th. Didn't get a chance to celebrate with them. But I did get a chance to go out there to help them set up their yearly doctor's appointments, to help them just get through some of the things that they needed assistance with. Still acting like they just came from Haiti yesterday, child. Like, how to do some things. You know how to handle things. No, but I went there to at least see them. And honestly, I needed a hug from my mom. I just wanted to lay on her lap, lay on her shoulder.
Oh,
Wanted some love from my dad. Haven't seen them for a minute, so it was nice getting a chance to go and reconnect with them. Even though my mama is kind of like shady with like, oh, it's you came, but it wasn't for my birthday.
nah.
Like, girl,
That's
oh
what
my
mamas do, ain't it?
goodness. But yeah, so that she's Haitian and that's her. But absolutely loved being home, and being there and just seeing my nephew. I have so many, so you guys know if you go on my page, you'll see me like with a new nephew every other day. Yes. So just good being with family, but I had to head back home. Speaking of heading back home, as soon as I got here, landed at 2 o'clock. Was supposed to do Leftist Mafia that evening on Thursday. Honey, it was a flood here, not the flood
Yes.
here. And I came in, the airport is on the south side. It's in Atlanta, in the heart of Atlanta. And so that's where the flooding happened. It was constant rain, turbulence. The kind of turbulence when you grab your neighbor and you didn't even want to touch them the whole plane ride, but you end up grabbing your neighbor's hand. That kind of turbulence, the one
Oh
that
wow.
makes you switch from listening to Migos and Future,
To some
and makes
Jesus
you
music.
switch your playlist and go right into gospel. That kind of turbulence was happening. So
Never would have made
this right
it.
here, what you see, the flooding, this is in Clark, Atlanta on
Oh
Thursday.
wow.
This is in Clark, Atlanta. The buildings began to flood. This is Clark Atlanta University, in Atlanta. Buildings were flooding. People were flooding inside their dormitories. Local businesses were flooding. A lot of areas
Wow.
were flooding. Parking decks flooded. So
Wow.
driving through Atlanta, I can feel my car, like the water just invading because I
Drifting
parked
with.
at the airport. And
Wow.
so, like, from the tires, people who had lower cars had to drive around. It was ridiculous. So, this is the flooding that I had to come in on. And it caused me, I landed at 2 o'clock. My captain was black. So he had us going, he knew the back roads in the sky. So we were supposed to land there at 2:45, landed at like 2:10. So but there's still turbulence. But he was trying to get us there before it started to storm more. And we landed and boom, there we go. It began to storm. I had to drive through that. Didn't get home for about 5 hours. I was in traffic. So in Atlanta, what happens is car accidents, lane closures, all of those things are happening as this rain came out of nowhere and didn't stop. And it was specifically in Atlanta because I always say it's always a good time to drive away from Atlanta. Because as I drove into where I live, which is an hour out from the airport, nothing but sunshine, and clouds.
I didn't know you were that far from the airport. Wow.
I am 1 hour away from the airport. Yes.
I mean, you know what? Never mind. That's Atlanta, so that's about right. Never mind.
Exactly. It's about right. During the pandemic, though, 35 minutes.
Nobody was driving
minutes.
anywhere. When the school is out, 30 minutes.
Yes. When the people came outside, started going back to an hour. And that is actually rush hour traffic. We're talking, it, Ben, 3 p.m. it starts, especially on a Thursday,
Yes.
Friday.
Yes.
In Atlanta, people literally call off. They'll be mid work, 3 o'clock hits, and they're already on the road because they want to either beat traffic or get ready to head home and get ready for festivities for the weekend. They start that on Thursday. Black folks always starting on Thursday, while white folks party Monday through Sunday. So anyways, that's my story about my weekend. I'm glad that sorry for you guys that wanted to go ahead and set me up as my mods, your first day as my mods on Leftist Mafia. We can try that on next week. But here we are right here on Like It or Not. So if you missed me on Thursday, you know where to find me right here on Like It or Not. Saturdays, we got so much great things ahead, guys. We got so much great things ahead. We're going to be partnering with a special friend, a show, family to the show, but we won't give you more details on that until the ink is dry. So we got that for you guys coming up, but we got a lot of great developments coming up for you guys, as well as us committing to just Saturdays. I know you guys love us during the week, but I wanted to put that out there. We're going to commit to your Saturdays. Okay,
Rebecca, I think you've been doing politics too long. That is the most political doublespeak I have ever heard in my life. We are committing only to Saturday.
Yes, we will commit. And who better than to commit to on a Saturday morning than Like It or Not? You know what it is. You don't want to wake up with anybody else. Come on. We're giving you the week's rundown on a Saturday. And hey, you're getting up, you're cleaning up the house, you're not at work, maybe you're working from home. Just chime in, tune in with us. You know what it is. We're going to give you the great vibes. So we're going to commit on Saturdays, and that means we have more time to give you quality product on a Saturday. I'm feeling like it's a good thing, Ben. I know you've been pushing for it. You've been advocating for that. So
yeah, I'm all about Saturday, man. Saturday morning is Saturday morning cartoons, Saturday morning politics.
Saturday morning.
Yeah, it's the only way to really digest all this stuff that's going on is to digest it with some good Saturday morning, some bowl of cereal and politics.
Yeah. So it's a better time for us to do it because I think we wake up with a better mind frame. I like to get up. I work out anyway, but something about a Saturday workout, it just feels a little bit more like I don't got to go into work. Even though they're trying to get to work on Saturdays now, my Saturday work is usually my Haitian events that I cover. But the white folks at the corporate job, they're trying to take me. They're trying to take me on Saturdays. And I don't do that. I'm not going back to the strip club. But where you guys can definitely, I know I want
metaphorically speaking.
Yeah. Metaphorically speaking. But if I was at the strip club, that's
no, I mean, I'm saying, like, if I
was at the strip club, I ain't got what the girls got out here in Atlanta, but I guarantee you I can make it.
Oh Lord.
I can make it shake. But
it's not Atlanta down there. It's not Atlanta.
They would never hire me over there at Magic City. Maybe in my town.
Maybe Club Wax.
They will be like, girl, look, baby, man. Don't quit your day job. Okay. Don't quit your day job. Man. But listen, everybody who does want to throw ones at us, you know where you can throw ones? Listen. We have a store now. We have a storefront. If you want to throw ones and you want to get some product, you want to get some of our stuff, you want to drink your coffee out of a mug that says Like It or Not. And we are still working on more stuff. Look, we got hoodies, t-shirts. We got the posters that you can give to your kids. because I feel like we're
Don't put.
that group of people.
I don't like that picture of me. Don't put me on the. I like y'all pictures. This
No,
this looks great.
I don't
David.
even Ben.
It looks
I
great.
don't even look like that. I don't even wear braces anymore. I've
That was 2
lost
years
weight.
ago.
My
You know what I
body
mean?
is bodying. We're outside, but listen, this is for now. We are going to update those
This is
pictures.
great
But
stuff.
whoever gets this now, get it while it's hot. Throw
Get
the
the
ones in it
original.
while it's hot because we don't. That's
Get the original.
vintage. This is gonna be.
Yes.
This is gonna be some vintage
Collector's
stuff,
items.
right? This is gonna be the stuff that you're gonna try to trade, right? This is the value goes up every year with this. We don't look like this anymore. None of us look like this anymore. We were beautiful people then, but we got healthy. Okay.
Yeah, that's 20 pounds ago for me.
This is. I don't even. I've gone through my braces journey.
I love it. It looks great. This is great
It
stuff.
looks great.
Great work, shout out to our producer putting it all together, doing all this.
Absolutely. David said, "Listen, y'all don't want to take new pictures. Here you go. Here you go. Here it is.
Like it or not, it's going down."
I absolutely love that hoodie. And I'm gonna get myself a hoodie. So yeah. Ooh, let me see it in pink, David. Okay. Huh? Do you see? Can I see it in is that brown?
Do you have magenta? I like the other one. I like that greenish brownish.
We need to get it in like some. What's that second color up there?
Just to the right.
Oh, I like that green. Oh, yeah. See?
Dark chocolate.
See? Yep. Put that on. Put that on a good little skin. Okay. The nudes are giving. I like it. I definitely like it. So if you like it, you know where to head to. David's dropping the link in the chat right now. You know where to head to. Head to our storefront. Support us. Support us. Support us. And we want to see pictures of you guys in our merchandise so we can feature you on the show. Okay? All right. Listen. We're going to start with these stories. And I know that through the week, there have been different stories on top of our personal lives. There have been different stories, good and bad, and we're going to try to cover the main ones. I want to start with the officers, the Memphis officers who have now been charged in the Tyre Nichols death. Okay. So all of them have been indicted, but then they've all pleaded not guilty. So the latest in this story, a fifth former Memphis police officer pleaded not guilty. And this was on Thursday to federal civil rights charges in the fatal beating of Tyre Nichols after a traffic stop. Emmett Martin made his first federal court appearance since he and 4 former colleagues were charged on Tuesday with using excessive force and conspiring to lie on January 7th of the beating of Nichols as he cried out for his mother. If you guys remember, we played that video on the show, edited version, of course, just steps away from his Memphis home. The judge, Annie Kristoff, said that Martin would be released on a $50,000 unsecured bond, which means that he does not have to pay any money unless he fails to appear in court. Tadrius Bean, Demetrius Haley, Desmond Mills, Justin Smith, and again, Martin were all indicted by a federal grand jury on charges of deprivation of rights under the color of law through excessive force and failure to intervene, and through deliberate indifference, conspiracy to witness tampering, and obstruction of justice through witness tampering. So Bean, Haley, Mills, and Smith have entered the not guilty plea as of Wednesday. So this is what we know now. If you guys don't know a little bit about Nichols, he was 29 years old. He died in the hospital 3 days after these officers allegedly punched, kicked, and hit him with a baton in a pummeling that was caught on police video. His being was one of several violent encounters between police, of course, and Black people that have sparked protests over the last couple of years. And then, of course, it sparks up the debate about police brutality and, of course, reform. And here, a lot of people are saying, the police are all Black, this and that. I don't care. Systemically, we know how police move. It is always in a systemic way, a white supremacist systemic way, white ideology. This is literally what it is. They look at people as inferior, and they are taught to look specifically at Black people as target practice, as nothing. And they abuse their power, specifically and especially when it comes to us. So let's play a little bit of this clip that gives us also a rundown, and then we'll go ahead and have that conversation.
Police officers who are charged in Memphis, Tennessee. At least 3 of the 5 former police officers who are charged in the death of Tyre Nichols are expected to appear in court. State prosecutors want to try all of the ex-cops together, but today at least 3 of them are expected to ask for separate trials. So, David, what's the argument for separating defendants? Typically, I mean, we're just seeing this, but in a much more sprawling RICO case, right? But what is a compelling reason to separate defendants in a case like that?
Chris, in a nutshell, the argument is my guy wasn't that involved. And it's hard to say that in a case here where officers are accused of beating a young man to death as a mob, but that's what they're trying to do. What you have to ask yourself is, okay, look, is it possible to try one of them without telling the story of everybody else who's directly involved? The only individual I've seen who makes a clear argument along those lines is Defendant Miller. He's like, listen, I wasn't at the traffic stop, therefore my circumstances are different. But really, you can't separate out what he did from what everybody else did that contributed to Tyre's death.
So he specifically has like a, I feel like if you were there,
just about half an hour from now in Memphis,
you're complicit, like you're with it. You are a part of it. And those officers were caught on tape. They are caught on camera. Ben, what's your take on this?
I mean, you already said a lot of what I was thinking, Rebecca. Like it never matters to me the color of the police officer. It doesn't. When you operate in the same exact way as a white police officer carrying out white supremacy on Black people, I don't care if you're brown, pink, yellow, whatever, you are carrying out white supremacy. And so these officers being tried now on a federal level for violation of civil rights, I mean, this is to be expected. The only thing I would say is that this is one of the few times you see such a clear indictment also by the media. This is the real difference, right? We see their mugshots. When's the last time we saw mugshots for white officers who have killed Black police officers, right? When is the last time we even see them refer to officers? There's a lot of times I feel like this particular story, while they are wrong, they should be arrested, they should get convicted based on the video that I saw. But I do see that there's a lot of condemnations coming here. And they're coming a lot quicker than we normally do see them. So I don't know if that's because they're Black, but then again, I do know it's because they're Black, right?
Yeah.
You don't see this happening with white officers like this happening right here.
Yeah, they're getting protections, but they aren't getting the protections that a white officer would get. But they're getting the protections of an officer. Okay. For it to have lasted this long. We have the evidence on tape. Of course, we seen exactly who they were immediately after, as opposed to what we would see usually
Same week
in the case.
Same week.
Yeah, same week. And we saw each and every one of their faces. And of course, they want to send us a message. It's not always the white. It's not always that. But we understand that, like I said in the beginning of this conversation, cops, officers of the law, especially here in America, function systemically. And systemically, things are always under white supremacy, white guidelines. And they do not have Black people's best interest from inception of officers, from law. We have never been included into being protected. So, and I'm not saying this is all officers, because I know you like to put up the pictures and the videos of the officers going into the hood, giving some kid Jordan playing basketball. Yeah, like playing horse,
dancing, like doing the Dougie. Yeah,
right, doing the Dougie. Just seeing actually an officer having relations with a young child in the hood.
Oh,
like I'm seeing all these things. There's all these different things that they want to put out of officers, but we know there is a system. They like to teach, and that's a one-way thing. Go to certain places, certain people. We know what they use as photographs in literal target practice. We know where they're putting these. Yes, we know where these police officers and these police are putting their training camps right here in Georgia, right here in Georgia, they're putting them in locations where they know the marginalized groups are, whether by color or by sexuality or by whatever. We know they go into the place to they go into these places to put in fear into people, and that's exactly what they do. They abuse their authority, and that's what we're constantly going to see here. The protections are limited for these Black officers because now they're not in uniform. So they've done what they can do, and now here you go. You're on your own. So,
and just a fine point on this, like this is the perfect example of how Black people do and can actively carry out white supremacy, even to death, right? And so when we see Black folks on social media doing the bidding of white supremacy, we shouldn't be surprised because we have an example here of Black police officers doing the bidding of white supremacy all the way to killing a Black man. So when you see somebody on social media who is Black, who's spreading misinformation, who's doing stuff to divide the Black community, doing stuff to harm the Black community, don't be surprised because there's always been Black Judases, and some of them happen to wear uniforms.
Yeah, yes, there is. And I don't want people to forget Tyre Nichols is a person, and he called out for his mother.
That's right.
That's not the first person that we've heard call out for their mother. George Floyd called out for his mother. In these moments, we're watching our beloveds. We're watching people who could be our father, our cousins, our brothers, our sisters, our mothers. We're watching these people be murdered. Back then, we had nothing. Emmett Till didn't have any opportunity or chance for us to verify his murder, even though his body was found and there was a ring that only he can have on his finger. And that place, those police officers literally said it wasn't his body. We now have cameras that are showing this, body cams, and you're still telling us that's not enough information. It's not really, let's figure out what the real issue is at hand. Police aren't the problem. How we train them aren't the problem. Tyre Nichols did not deserve to be, he deserves to be here right now. George Floyd deserves to be here right now. I wish the growth that happened because, like I said, Emmett Till and so many more lynchings that happened back in the day were never caught on camera. Today, we're catching these modern day lynchings on camera, and you guys are still saying it's not enough.
Well,
I
the
want.
point.
Go ahead, Ben.
No, I was going to say because the point is to always move the goalposts. They never intended on giving us justice. They never intended on us having a fair shot at this system. So when we get body cams, all of a sudden it's not enough evidence. And then when it is enough evidence, oh, look, they forgot to cut it on. Even though we give them millions of dollars every year for new body cameras, they always fail to cut them on. So it's just an ongoing game of cat and mouse. It's like Linus and Lucy on Charlie Brown. They're forever moving the football away from us. And we're still trusting that if we just put more money into the police, if we give them more training, then they'll start behaving better.
Okay. Yep. And I don't know. I think that we're at a good place here. It's just interesting. It's interesting to see, like you said, how quickly when the officers are Black, we're getting closer to something that we never got to when we saw a knee to the neck. How many protections people are able to live in their home. We saw how a man who wasn't even a police officer who murdered someone who was just literally around trying to be a community cop. You know, George Zimmerman and how he's able to live his life, have a show, get a show, get paid.
Well, he's got a show. He's got a show now.
He had one. And he's followed by TMZ, things like that. He's a celebrity. You have the little boy, Kyle Rittenhouse, who was out here, podcast, supported a political imprint, made a political imprint for what he's done. Listen, these murderers are walking free. But I know we need to make an example, but these people did what they did and they deserve everything that's coming to them. These officers, I don't care, black, white, purple, green, in between. They deserve what's coming to them. But I want that to be all around, all across the board. I want Tyre Nichols to get his vengeance. I want him to get some kind of honoring, some kind of justice, because we know so many others will never gotten it.
Rebecca, I'm on a call every week, and every week it's a call of families who have been impacted, who've lost a loved one to police violence, Black people. And every week we have a new family that has to join because the week before a cop killed their loved one. Every week, it never fails. We have either one or two brand new families who have to be introduced to this fraternity, this support group of family members who have over the years lost. I mean, we're talking about into the hundreds, right? And so there's just I just want people to put this in perspective. Every single week we have this support group.
And you're saying hundreds of people weekly.
They always, every single week, we always have a brand new, one or two brand new families who have to share their story and be introduced to this support group. So this is far more reaching than I think most people really know.
Yeah. And and I know it's one thing to just see it, but we're living this. We are people, unfortunately, that could be the next just because of our skin color and just because of what people who are put in uniform are taught when it comes to us. They took away a father, a brother, like this is a family member, this is somebody's loved ones, and they went to sleep. They've made jokes about these murders. Just recently, a cop is caught on tape making jokes about murdering somebody. And this is the abuse of power. This is what we're seeing. This is the abuse of power. It's not protections. We're not being protected. And so as this goes on, I do want to see how this is going to develop, but I want the same energy for every cop that does this, that has done this. I really want the same energy for every cop, because as we continue to find justice, I feel like the work that Mamie Till and everybody else who was a mother who had to become an activist because their child was murdered at the hands of damn law enforcement, I feel like their work would not go in vain. Their tears would not go in vain.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and continue to watch and see as this case continues to develop. And again, we want justice for Tyre Nichols. Never forget it. So moving on, we have some of the Republicans' favorite. We have the Republicans' favorite name when they want to throw something at Biden. And this is their idea of collusion and corruption and something that has drawn the line. It's his son, him being our president of the United States currently. Even though Republicans do not want to say it, President Joe Biden. It ain't about him, though. It's Hunter Biden. How many times have we heard Hunter Biden out of the mouths of Republicans? I mean, too many to damn count. Too many to count. Hunter Biden is the focal point. When kids are shot up at schools, they want to say drag queens. You know, they'll say drag queens. When anything else happens in the world where Republicans need to speak on it, they quickly go to Hunter Biden. I remember being on a show. I talked about this before multiple times. Being on a show, having to talk about true issues. At the time, Brittany Griner was in Russia and was stuck there. And they told me, but Hunter Biden's laptop. I said, yeah, Brittany Griner is stuck. An American citizen is stuck for having a vape. And you want to talk about Hunter Biden's laptop? What are we doing? So that's that. Hunter Biden. Here's the latest in that. President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, has been indicted earlier this week by special counsel David Weiss in connection with the gun he purchased in 2018. The first time in U.S. history, the Justice Department has charged the child of a sitting president. The three charges include making false statements on a federal firearms form and possession of a firearm as a prohibited person. Of course, and it's an extraordinary turn of events after his original plea deal collapsed and potentially sets up a dramatic trial in the middle of his father's 2024 reelection bid. We are watching this in real time. The White House, of course, thought the Hunter Biden legal drama, they thought that would be passed. But no, of course, the right wants to bring it up into an impeachment inquiry, okay, into the relation to Hunter Biden's business ventures at the White House. Court filings show that a summons was issued on Thursday for him, busy Thursday, for him to appear in court for an initial appearance on the charges, though it is unclear when and where the initial appearance would take place. Hunter Biden is currently in California. A source familiar with the matter actually told CNN that any plan for a self-surrender or initial appearance, including the date and location, still needs to be worked out. Also, with another report, according to CNN, Hunter Biden's lawyer, Abby Lowell, claimed the indictment was a result of political pressure. Okay, so now they're pushing for indictment for President Joe Biden. Of course, this conversation was taken to CNN. CNN host, CNN anchor Abby Phillips actually sat down with Matt Gaetz. And I want you guys to see how this short conversation played out, but clearly Matt Gaetz was cleared. Okay, let's take a look at how Abby made it clear and plain as day about Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, and a possible impeachment.
Evidence, though, I just have to say, I mean, we do have bank records, devices, laptops, travel records, changes in administration policy. Seems like pretty strong evidence to me.
None of which links President Biden to.
Well, it was Joe Biden on the phone.
None of which
he was calling into the meetings. But, Abby, are you actually trying to tell your viewers that you don't believe that Joe Biden was involved in Hunter Biden's business deals?
It's not about a hard case. It's not about what I believe. It's about whether there is evidence that President Biden is linked to the misdeeds that might be linked to Hunter Biden. That's the issue. But I want to get back. I do want to.
I mean, come on. Wait, hold on. Can you just acknowledge that when he calls into the business deals that he's involved? When he calls into the dinners, you don't think that's involvement?
First of all, this is not about innuendo. It's not about what I believe. It's a question. Do you have evidence? If you had evidence that Joe Biden was linked to Hunter Biden's business deals in a way that is illegal, we wouldn't be having this conversation. You would probably have the votes for an impeachment inquiry, but you don't because of people like Ken Buck and people like Don Bacon and many others in your conference.
Well, I see the evidence differently. I think that that's why we need to have the votes and have the debates and have the hearings. And again, they represent their constituents just like I represent mine, even in.
So, just for a quick update with that, because I really want to get into it. Speaker, it was Kevin McCarthy, and he announced on Tuesday that he was the one that was going to be directing the U.S. House to open an impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden over his family's business dealings. And he did this, I think, strategically, of course, because I feel like this is really nothing there. But McCarthy said that the House investigation so far paint a picture of a culture of corruption. He said a culture of corruption around the Biden family. And this is as the Republicans are continuing to probe the business dealings of their son or of Biden's son, Hunter Biden. And so this is from before they're going into before the Biden administration actually took office. So McCarthy says that the allegations are an abuse of power. Listen to these keywords, right? Obstruction and corruption. And, they're warranting further investigation by the House of Representatives. So here is what they're doing. It's all should be on Broadway, right? But it's terrible acting. So let's say Lifetime. I watch Lifetime, but the acting isn't the best. And this is what we're getting from the Republicans. I think that here we're following a black hole. It's going to lead to nothing. All of this pressure, but we had a former president, President Donald Trump, who actually had corruption, who actually had family business dealings that were corrupted, who actually had a son that needed to be looked into, but sat there and they said nothing. They sat there and ate their food, but they're moving the whole table. Okay? They are literally out there raising hell over Hunter Biden,
Mhm.
but you don't recall the Trumps and all of their dealings, all of everything, and they sat there and did what they needed to do. I know they drew in impeachment callings for Donald Trump too, but the pressure that the Republicans put in, the way that they go so hard for something like this, which is really given nothing, is so ridiculous. When people are dying, people are hungry. There are bills that need to be passed that need to save America and Americans. There's so much other conversation that need to be had. But here we are on Hunter Biden.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple of things with this particular story. One, they know Rebecca, and they don't care the hypocrisy. They know Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law, got $2 billion from Saudi Arabia while he was connected directly to Donald Trump. They also know that this story really doesn't have any teeth. There's no there. This indictment that Hunter Biden got over this past week for the gun charge, it's a gun charge that the Department of Justice has rarely ever charged someone. They charged him because he falsely filled out a form stating related to his drug abuse, saying that he wasn't using drugs when apparently he was.
Yeah.
This is an issue that normally the NRA, the National Rifle Association, would absolutely side with someone in that same exact position, except he's Hunter Biden, the son of a Democratic president. So where's the NRA? Well, the NRA doesn't care that this is an affront. You know, there's already questions about the constitutionality of this charge. But they have no loyalty to their own cause except for Republicans. That's I mean, that's who they are. And this clip with Abby Phillip from CNN and Matt Gaetz. Matt, first of all, I no way, kind, form of disrespect to Abby, but whoever booked Matt Gaetz, whoever brought that charlatan on CNN, they're responsible for allowing him to get up there and to spread the misinformation that he gave. And Abby did a wonderful job with him, because the truth of the matter is, Republicans know they don't have any evidence. There have been Republicans who have come out and said there's no evidence for an impeachment inquiry. There's been Republicans coming out saying that this is going to end bad for the Republican Party and that there's no there, but they don't care because they simply want to get revenge for Donald Trump's impeachment. Marjorie Taylor Greene has already made that pretty clear. And so there's no connection. There's no ties. If they had the ties, that evidence would have already led to an impeachment. I'll say this is the last thing. I don't care if they impeach Joe Biden. Like if you got something on him, impeach him. Do it. If there's charges you could bring up on him, do it. I don't have, and we should not have loyalty to a politician who's committing crimes. The problem is they don't have any evidence.
Yeah. I care if they try to impeach Joe Biden on nothing. But you're right. If there's something there, if there's a there, definitely, because we want to what is it? Due process. Whatever the hell that means. I can't stand it because it ain't real to me. Due process is very, very, it's very selective. And so here they want to act like they know what politics is supposed to be. Now they want to act like they know what rules are. But when it is a certain person, such as Donald Trump or other beloved right wingers or whoever, they will go ahead and start to act like they are Stevie Wonder. Oh, now all of a sudden they Ray Charles. Okay? They can't see nothing. Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's Donald Trump. He actually has been doing the best he can. Joe Biden can't control his grown behind son. But you guys can't. You guys are so worried about what his son is doing, and you're bringing that. As a father, these people are still like their fathers and things. Donald Trump did that right in front of your face. Full business dealings with ops. Had his children involved with the ops. Money laundering with the ops at the White House. This is not hearsay. This is what happened. And yet they still uphold him as the highest form of a president in the United States, protecting him. FBI has been in his house, has found so many documents. There's so many things on him. He got a mugshot now, right? Yet Joe Biden is the one that we should be falling over our chairs about. We should be losing sleep. We should be marching down the streets about. For other reasons, maybe. But this one, I can't. I can't sit here and say that this one I can agree to. But Republicans have a way of making it seem like this is the end all, be all. This is the ops. He is working and colluding with other people. Tomorrow, our borders will be unsafe. Tomorrow, we must worry that the people will start breaking into our doors and the world or the nation will be so different. Children will be hungrier. Homeless people, now people with homes or who are one day away from being homeless will now be homeless because of Joe Biden. Republicans are working hard to destroy the lead and to bury it and to make sure that the actual conversation is never had. And for the focus to be, especially with the supporters or people who identify as right-wing or as conservatives or as Republicans or as the Reds, for them to focus on continuing to just hate anything Joe Biden administration, anything Democratic, anything liberal, anything progressive, anything that has to do with anything outside of just Republican. So,
thanks.
Yeah. So that's where we are with that. And I just don't think, I think they're going too far with impeachment. I think they're going too far with protest. But speaking of protest, are the PR people protesting? Are they on strike? Because a lot of celebrities and a lot of public figures are out here wild, and their social media presence isn't helpful to their apologies or trying to recreate and bring them back into society correctly. With so many of those people being outside, I just want to mention one who actually gone viral this week. It's Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors, our 1934 looking daddy, because he to me, he's like a nice looking man, right? He has that vintage somebody
civil
said
rights look.
Civil rights look. Somebody said on a hot summer day, they're leaning against the outside. Outside, they're leaning against trying to fan off in a muumuu, and he walks up to you and just gently moves your little bayang, because you know your hair is probably clipped up, moves it to the side and gives you a kiss on the forehead, and that's all you needed because he just walked up to the door. That's my man from 1934. That's my man from 1950s. That's my man from the 1960s. All right. Okay. A good man. Metger. Metger Charles. I feel like his name
Harlem Renaissance.
The Harlem Renaissance man. Metger Charles III. I made that name up for him, but that's what he looked like his name was. Anywho, right? Jonathan Majors, who we know was our man just earlier this year. He was our man, right? He was, we was going to stick right beside him. We saw him in Creed 3 and we was like, all right, Michael B. Jordan, but Jonathan Majors. We seen him in interviews and we was like, damn, right? That was all of our, we liked what we were seeing from Jonathan Majors. We liked how he
all right, come on, move on to the next part.
We like how he was building himself. We liked how he was building himself, right?
I'm trying to be supportive here.
I'm trying to be no, we liked how he was building himself up and creating a name for himself. He was in there was a show that I loved with him with Journey Smollett, and forget the name of it. But it was a great show. Lovecraft Country. Absolutely. Like absolutely loved it. And I recently seen him in The Last Man in San Francisco. I believe he was in. I want to say he was in that movie. The Last Man in San Francisco. I watched that recently and I said, wow, this man is actually, he has layers to him and how he acts and what he acts and his characters that he chooses. Anywho, I say all that to say,
come on.
We know that he has been in trouble legally most recently, and with allegations of him in a domestic violence situation with a former girlfriend, and that is now being worked out. He has been since taken to court for it, and we are getting the updates. He did counter sue as well. And so we've been seeing that come out. Now, recently, we also he's been dating Megan Good, the star Megan Good, the actor Megan Good. He looked good right there. He's been dating the star Megan Good. And
he came back to the tribe as soon as he could. Anyway, go ahead.
So outside recently yesterday, or I say yesterday, this week, he broke up a fight. There's a viral video of showing him breaking up a fight. The people who broke this video, coincidentally, was TMZ. He broke up a fight between two high school students. I want you guys to take a look at the initial video that went viral.
It's a great video.
Okay.
Damn.
Well, they fight for real though.
So yeah, to me it looks like a real fight. So
yeah, they really fighting. Yeah. But why was he just
So yeah, I don't like showing violence. So but here he is coming in, and I want to say viewer discretion is advised. I should have said that in the beginning, but he comes in and he's stopping the fight. And he got that, he got that good civil rights hat on. He doing work.
The Kango, that oversized Kango on his head. It's like 3 sizes too big. Like, what's going on here?
I like the hat on him.
Oh, clearly.
Why is she recording with a whole laptop out there? My God.
So there is a laptop that is recording. Oh, I like right here. I hate to watch it. He does continue to break it up. Can we stop it? Absolutely not. I do not like watching. I don't know. I'm just that one person that does not like watching fight videos. And as somebody who has been in a lot of fights, you know what you're hitting on when you're fighting. I don't like it. But anywho,
especially when you get them crack them thuds, those
TMZ definitely was the one to break the story. It looks like he was caught on camera breaking the fight up between two high school girls. Okay, two high school young girls in Hollywood, California. You can see the two girls tussling with one another. Of course, hitting each other in the face, and that's when Majors appears to have been in the area, and he was at the In-N-Out across the street. He rushes into there to put a pause between the two. So he literally didn't say much when they tried to get some comments from him, but somebody did put up somebody who was there actually put up a second view of the fight, and they stated that this was an actual fight. They go to the school, or they knew that it was an actual fight, and here is a second view of the fight. Viewer discretion is advised.
Listen. That must be the laptop.
You know what? Because I don't see a laptop. So it might be. Because I don't see a laptop. This is so crazy how this is how fights are now. It's just full video. Anywho, so he stopped this fight. I mean, I can't say allegedly. What we see here is Jonathan Majors stopping a fight. Now, of course, it's social media. Everyone took to social media to share their thoughts. And a few of those thoughts included that Jonathan Majors' PR team wants me to believe, this is from one person on Twitter, that he was at a burger joint in a zoot when he felt a disturbance in the force and saved two innocent citizens. Somebody else said Jonathan Majors' team is pulling out of their behinds because his trial has been postponed twice. Now they're trying to turn him into Captain America. Oh, man. That's crazy because I never heard that one. Someone else said this is what Jonathan Majors' PR team was hoping he was giving with that incredibly staged Samaritan act, and there goes on to be a video of Michael Jackson. They just went on. Anywho, it just seems that Jonathan Majors,
at the right place at the right time.
He can't catch a break though. So whatever he's gonna do,
That-
whether he was in the
That's what that hat looks like. Oh man. Driving the old Sanford and Son truck. Okay.
They said that's what Jonathan Majors pulled up in. One thing about it is,
oh man,
I think that he did break up a fight. I don't know. Was it? I think in today's generation, everybody pulls out their phone. Somebody may not have had a cell phone, so they pulled out their.
I'm done. Look at this, the Jonathan Majors collection. Sorry to the listening audience, you have to kind of see these.
You gotta go,
photos.
yes, to the listening audience, you have to go online and you have to definitely take a look at this.
I have to give it to him though. You know, he's the kind of fight you don't want to break up. I used to be a teacher, and I've broken up, as small as I am, I've broken up a couple of fights. The most dangerous fight I ever broke up was two girls fighting, not the dudes. The dudes fighting, you know, I got tossed around a little bit because I'm smaller than everybody, but I was able to, you know, we were able to break it up. The girls fighting, we broke it up, and I walked back to my table at lunch in the cafeteria, and I'm like, why does my head hurt so bad? That's because they are not thinking about who they hit when they fight. And you jump out. So Jonathan Majors, like, you know, he's a big guy, but truth be told, if they hadn't recognized this, the only reason I think that it might have been staged just a little bit is because he didn't get hit. Realistically, when you're breaking up a fight, you're gonna get a couple licks in there. Somehow somebody gonna lay hands on you a little bit. So but shout out to him. I mean, if he did it for real and it wasn't staged, then you know it's a good deed. It's just, you know, it's hard to get away with a good deed on the internet these days, because even if he really meant it, it really is good for jokes. So it really is.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, you know, I think he stopped the fight, you know, but I also think that in his particular circumstance, we're just wondering, because there's he's one of the many public figures that we've seen within the last, it only take 5 minutes. It's just been all week long, all month long, all year long. But most recently, what is your PR team doing? What is your PR team doing? Are they helping? Right after that, I think yesterday, the news broke that Jonathan Majors has now gotten, he now has a trial date. I think it's going to be in October. He finally has, after being pushed back, postponed, he finally has a trial date. And that comes just days after this video. He has a trial date. He's going to appear in court in October. What was due back in court September 15th. That's not what I saw. It's not what I saw. But he will be back in court. So this comes just after. So they've gotten him back in court. I believe that he should be back in October sometime. And this is what we're going. People are saying, is it a coincidence that we've seen the fight break up? White people do it all the time. White people do this all the time. So if we're going to go ahead and start doing PR stunts, we got to start doing it better, though, if this was that. But I would not say that looked like I fought when I was in high school. I fought in middle school. I'm a young girl. And that looks like a real fight to me.
The girls were fighting. The girls were definitely fighting. I have to say, and somebody in the chat room said that he looked like he took a few licks, so it probably was even real. Okay, so I didn't see the licks that he took, but I would tell you, if it's a real fight with girls in it, I don't care who you are, man, woman, gender non-conforming, you're gonna take some licks. So good luck to y'all out there trying to, the school teachers especially.
Jonathan is looking good.
You about like my wife and what's that bald headed dark skinned Negro name?
Morris Chestnut.
He got me about like 3 inches, and he's like, that's
Tay Diggs.
Morris Chestnut. No, Morris Chestnut. Morris Chestnut. That's the one. You sound like my wife and Morris Chestnut.
Listen.
Next story, please.
Because get him off the screen so fine. Anyways, we want to see, honestly.
He looked hungry there, but that must have been before he started training for that picture. He looked hungry.
He looked, but he probably had to do that for a certain role. Listen, he's an actor.
He bulked up for
and
Creed,
he's serious about his craft.
Yeah.
Hey, Jonathan.
See, now that's the Creed weight.
Get him off the screen now. Get him off. Get them off. But I will say this though. Right now, I know that a lot of actors and people who are supporting actors are on strike, right? The SAG after they're on strike, of course. I know people are under fire. One person that's under fire is someone who we never thought would be, and that's Drew Barrymore, who is loved by the world. She decided to continue to work. White folks are so apologetic, it's crazy. She decided to continue to work, and I like Drew Barrymore. And then she made an excuse for her deciding to continue to work while supposedly still wanting to be an ally with the people on strike, which I understand. Everybody's going to choose their choice. You can't be mad at somebody for choosing their choice. But she then went on after that, when she was called out for it, to go cry and apologize. I love Drew Barrymore. I do. But sometimes white folks like to really, they think that they're beyond a couple of things. White folks go ahead tapping into my camera, but they think they're beyond a couple of things. We've seen that with her, and we've seen that most recently with a few of the actors in that 70s show, right? With Ashton Kutcher and Mia and his wife. So, but we're not above anything, okay? We're not above anything. So all these tactics that their PR people are trying to do with them, it hasn't been working either. I believe that all the PR people are currently on strike, okay? And so, because it ain't working.
On screen, David. I'm sorry. I'm mouthing Rebecca's words, but it's not coming out like that.
I'm back. But it ain't working. What we're seeing is that it's not working. So it ain't working for Drew Barrymore, so a damn sure ain't gonna work Jonathan Majors. If that was the case, if it was the PR stunt, I just believe that if it were true, I think that if he did something good for the community by stopping a fight, especially between two girls who did not give a damn who he was and continued to fight, then that's just what that was. So we'll see as the story develops. I don't think this is gonna stop anything in Jonathan Majors' case. He was dealing with a white woman at the time. And we're going to court with that, so I'm not sure. Okay?
Why is he was with a white woman at the time, and now he's out here with Megan Good?
Okay, is that a PR stunt?
Excellent choice. I mean, listen, Megan Good is Megan Good. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. But
Megan Good is Megan Good. Okay, but let's see here. Megan Good is Megan, and a win is a win. A win is a win. A win is a win. And who did win?
Oh,
and she doesn't even say a win is a win. You know who did win? That beautiful black woman named Coco Gauff. 19-year-old Coco Gauff. Did you watch it, Ben? Did you watch it live?
I watched a little picture. No, I didn't watch it live. No, I watched replay pizza.
Okay. Okay. I didn't watch it live either, but my father, he happened to watch it, and it was on his birthday.
Your people are from South Florida, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's just like Coco was from Boynton Beach, and I didn't watch it live, but she currently attends the church that I used to work for like 10, 12 years, St. John in Boynton. So, and her grandmother was the first person Coco mentioned how her grandmother, Yvonne Oldham, was her inspiration and all these kind of things. So it's really a really big thing for South Florida. I know it's a big thing for the nation, but shout out to all the people in South Florida who have surrounded her and encouraged her. It's just a really great week for us.
Yep. That's the crib. Palm Beach County. Shouts out to Palm Beach County. That's where I'm from. And we produce
top notch.
Top notch. Guess who else is from Palm Beach County?
Say it.
The Williams sisters, right? That's where they resided, right? Mm-hmm. Palm Beach County. Those girls are from Compton, but father took them out to Palm Beach County. So we know the Williams sisters, they, had residence there. So a lot of greatness, okay, has been created, molded, built, helped push a lot of out there in Palm Beach County. So
in fact, that's where Coco first saw Venus and Serena at the US Open. That's what inspired her in Palm Beach County, Delray Beach, the tennis place spot right down there in Delray. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, that's also where it houses the Orange Chief.
Oh yeah,
Orange Chief. But
they didn't have to go in and ruin. It's still. Oh, you're right.
It can't always be 100%.
It can't all be good, huh?
Right. So Coco Gauff won her first major title on Saturday at the U.S. Open, and this was last Saturday, at the U.S. Open with a 2-6, 6-3, 6-2 victory over Aryna Sabalenka.
Good luck. That's on you. I'm not even going to try.
I apologize if I messed up her name because she's a great player too. But in front of an adoring crowd under the roof on a stormy day. They said when the clouds gather together. After the match, the 19-year-old American fell to the ground and lay on her back on the court before sobbing in celebration. And you know what? I don't tell you about it. I actually have video about it. I want you to witness the greatness. If you missed it, take a look.
Get up, Coco Gauff. You've just won the U.S. Open.
Can I just say, shout out Coco Gauff. I mean, that is shout out to her. Shout out to the entire family that raised her, all of her cousins and her grandmother, the whole family, the Lee family, the whole legacy down there in Boynton Beach. I know they are so proud of this young sister, 19-year-old victory, right? But also she got an award of $3 million. So that award, I'm only mentioning it because somebody asked her, what is she going to do? What bills is she going to pay off? And she's like, I'm 19. My parents take good care of me. I don't have any bills. Shout out to her whole family. It's a beautiful.
And she said, and I think I wanted to, but I didn't. In that clip where she's talking about debt, she said it.
Oh yeah, she said it the same way you did.
Debt.
The same way you
We're
did.
We're from out there in the same area. Debt.
So now we can say that's a Palm Beach thing.
Debt. You said no. I'm stopping this whole thing. I don't care what the story is about. You will not continue.
I didn't do that during the middle of the show. I told you after the show.
Ben, because I said it a couple of times. You stopped me as I was going in. You said we will not continue. It's debt.
Oh, I might have. You might be right.
So me pronouncing every letter of the word debt.
Yeah.
You were through with it. Now I'll say this. She said that in her clip, and I thought it was hilarious, but I will add that this win is a win for us all. This is 19-year-old where she actually have another clip that I want to play where she actually lays down what the win was for her, what it was about for her, what it meant for her, and why it was so important to her. Let's take a listen.
2 weeks ago, I want a couple things I want to say. Honestly, thank you to the people who didn't believe in me. Like a month ago, I won a 500 title, and people said I would stop at that. 2 weeks ago, I won 1,000 title, and people were saying that was the biggest it was going to get. So 3 weeks later, I'm here with this trophy right now. I tried my best to carry this with grace, and I've been doing my best. So honestly, to those who thought who were putting water on my fire, you're really adding gas to it. And now I'm really burning so bright right now.
Come on.
Last couple things.
Shine light like a diamond.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Come on.
Yes. Right? I feel like this is what it is right here. Because we watched her just, I think, a week before that, and the week before that, actually get ostracized for sharing her grievances about the other player on the court who was getting specialized treatment. And for her to have to speak out and not look combative and at 19, she's still a young woman. She's still growing up, right? But to have to not look like, because they're going to perceive her as an angry Black woman.
Oh, she
right?
handled
Full
that situation.
grown. That's how she would be perceived, right? So for her, she had to keep her demeanor calm. She had to know how to give her wording in a way where I'm going to say what I need to say. I'm not going to hold back. And we watched her go through that at 19 years old.
That's right.
19 years old, as she played against somebody who got an opportunity to bend the rules. And let me tell you, this is a great example of how Black people, period, and no matter what we do, have to work 6 times as harder, even though we can literally beat, excel, go farther than the person that we're probably up against in the first instance and try. But we have to do 6 more jobs just to prove ourselves to be the greatest. Although we already start off as the greatest, but that's okay. We'll take that challenge. Here's his 19-year-old Coco Gauff understanding her value and having her parents as a support system. And when they talk to her about deputy, she let them know that she never had that, because as much as they want to put her in the position where she came for her story to be that story of come up, I already was up. My parents took good care of me. They trained me up to be who I am today. I never went without and I never lacked.
Yeah.
Don't have that story.
I love the way she handled, you brought the way she handled that situation with the judge that you just got through describing. It really shows exactly what you're saying, right? She had to operate at a level of excellence in terms of her skill as a tennis player, but then like an even higher level of excellence in terms of being able to navigate something that's clearly wrong being done to her, but knowing full well that she has to say it with grace. She mentioned grace. She had to say it with patience. She had to literally carry that judge from the wrong that I wish we had that clip, right? It was just such a powerful moment. And you think about it, she's 19 years old. She's not only having to be a champion in terms of tennis, but she's having to be a champion in terms of just systemic problems in this country. And she navigated that so well. But again, that's what we expect from that. It's just you got to know the family, man. The family is a really dope family. I didn't get a chance to know Coco. I left the church about 15 years ago. So she had to be, she had to be 4. So I never really got a chance to even meet her or know her, but I know her family, and they would not have raised her any other way than being able to handle the mess that comes on and off the court. So shout out to her and her family.
Yeah. And what's very also interesting is that there's a video of her, I think, in about 8, 9 years old, if I'm not mistaken, of her at a US Open, or somewhere between the ages of like 8 and her preteen years, where she's at the US Open and she's actually watching and cheering and excited. And then fast forwarding to her own moment, manifesting that into her reality.
Yeah.
And this is what I love to see. And that video was actually trending. But listen, having the support system, and not often, I'm not saying that, that this is something that we all get. She was blessed enough to have that, and there's nothing wrong with it. She had parents who made sure that she was raised well, that she didn't go without, and also supported her dreams, supported her, and continued to push her to her best, and allowed her, literally created her. And I love this. Made sure that she knew how to be and speak in these places because of her greatness. And I love that. I love that. It still may be limited, where she can't actually share her grievances the way that she would like. But the way that she does it, the way that she carries herself, I think is perfect. And I think that this is
absolutely perfect.
Yeah,
yes.
I think this is a great look, I sound like them old folks, but absolutely a role model for young Black girls. I like to see it.
Oh, you know what? Yes, absolutely. Thank God for Coco. You talking about role models. I'm not going to say what I'm thinking about these artists that are out here who are not good role models.
I'm looking for my baby daddy.
It's not about them.
Oh,
it's about her. It's about how
there is a demographic for them all, and
there is,
and I'm a little mix of all of it, so I can't be mad at it. But I
what
feel
you think about Sexy Red? Anybody moving on?
Benjamin P. Dixon. I just quoted her just now, and I will tell you, I never heard her song in full. I can tell you that I've seen a video
let's take
of her
Coco down while we're talking about. Hang on, take the video down of Coco while we're talking about Sexy Red, because we got
Coco. But I will say, I've seen a video of her speaking on having STDs, and saying it like it is an everyday thing, a normality to just let yourself be out here like that. And I'm not saying it's a problem with being sexually active with your partner, but not protecting yourself. just because it is, I guess, the norm, or what she tried to make a norm in the like, if it's just because you come from a hood, because you a hood girl. And I think not, sweetie. I think not. You can still take care of yourself even though you're from the hood. I never heard of a woman that doesn't take care of herself. I think right now what's going on is things that go viral. Sexy Red, I think, is an absolutely beautiful young woman and actually has a talent. And just because she raps about sex, that's not the problem. To me, honey, it's literally going to school, and as you're walking through that school, you holding up the middle finger in a children's school. That's problematic to me.
She went to the school to sing. The song that she performed though was "My Booty Hole Is."
She actually performed that, and the kids continued.
They loved it.
Sing that. I don't want to say that when I was younger, I wasn't singing songs that I wasn't supposed to sing. But baby, honey, I don't need my 5-year-old say my. I can't even say the words. Now that may be because I am in a different place now in my life as far as age. Like, I ain't old. I'm grown. It's different. I'm grown. And so I like to, I might play a bit of Lil' Kim where she's talking about whatever she want to do with her man and this and that, right? I'm grown. Grown.
Look, I'm a big fan of Meg Thee Stallion, so I have no place to try to talk about someone being ratchet or not. I'm a fan of Meg Thee Stallion primarily because I think she's one of the coldest lyricists rhythmically in the game right now. And it just
her behind rhythm too, and it's nice.
And she's absolutely she's gorgeous, right? All those good things, right? The problem I have with Sexy Red is that she. Okay, best example as I can get is a video that she shared on her Twitter timeline of four young black boys who obviously were riding in a car that didn't belong to them. Also, they had like AKs, they had Dracos, they had all kind of guns in this video, singing and dancing to her song. And so as they are putting a video of them committing a crime on the internet, she goes and retweets it and thinks it's cute. I'm like, nah, this is exactly the type of poison that, you're rewarding. There are going to be more kids who go out and do this behavior because, look, they got the attention of Sexy Red. That video got like 20 million views. It's like once you get to a certain level, I'm sorry, you do have a responsibility. And if you don't want that responsibility, then you don't need to be at that level. So
it's true. I agree. Right? Somebody said Foxy Brown used to rap about being unprotected too. I said about STDs, right? If you're unprotected with a partner that you are unprotected with, and you guys know each other's statuses, or you guys know that you're with each other, whatever, that's your partner or not, whatever. If you're talking about, I'm tired of my man giving me gonorrhea, I'm tired of my man giving me chlamydia. No, I'm sorry. I am sorry. I cannot. This is not a conversation I can move on with. This is actual video footage of her and Suki with the good, right? And they're literally talking about how men are. I do not need a child watching this, not understanding that those things are STIs, sexually transmitted infections, that you are literally, and they can cause you to be more prone to getting HIV if left untreated. Not everybody has insurance where they can go to the doctor and continuously get antibiotics to heal that. And at some point, this possibly can open the door for a STD that cannot be cured. So that's where it becomes problematic for me, right? And maybe I'm just an old lady, as y'all said. Maybe I'm just too grown for these conversations.
Dog roll a dragon. That is, y'all are so horrible in our chat. Oh my God. So
for me, and that's just me. And I think there's a demographic for all of this. The girls that want to be sexy, be sexy. Sexy is different for everybody. Go to where, and this is what I say, in this space, there's so much, right? Go to what fits you. But I feel like so much stuff that used to be like on television, bleeped out. Like, okay, I'm going to give you an example, Ben. Your kid is watching YouTube. You didn't know Sexy Red was coming up in that next commercial. Your kid is literally watching content for kids, but you didn't know Sexy Red is on a paid ad coming up in the commercial. Now your kid has this coming up. Your kid is watching a child show. You didn't know that an antidepressant commercial was coming up about people being depressed as hell. You see what I'm saying? Back then, you're watching children's shows. You know that the Super Soaker 25 is commercial is coming up. The damn crayons that we wanted that our parents was never gonna get us, that commercial was coming up. The most
you ever see me low roll?
The most we would get is the that R&B for you CD album where the lady is in the lingerie that ain't even real true lingerie. Girls is wearing that as dresses now, like sitting there with the roses in her hand on the couch, looking up, listening to music with a glass of wine. That was the most that we used to get back in the day. But I say this to say, I think that there is no gatekeeping, and I believe that there should be when it comes to this type of content that's being put out there, but there's none. My niece is on TikTok every day. She tells me about Sexy Red. She tells me about Ice Spice. And you know, there's no bleeping. There's no Kids Bop version for real. These kids have access to all of this. My nephew, who's about 10, told me he has 2 baby mamas at school. That's not because of Sexy Red. That's because of the rappers that they're listening to now. He has 2 baby mamas at school. He listens on TikTok. He listens to this stuff on TikTok, and he was scrolling through, and then there was a woman who was in sexual clothing with a Sexy Red song playing in the background, and I'm like, is there a kids TikTok, or is this just all over the place? I don't know.
No, you can't. Yeah, you absolutely cannot let your kids be on social media. Really, honestly, before like 13 is cutting it young for me. I don't even know about 13. Like the stuff that they're exposed to and the mindset that somebody said in the chat room. I think it was our homeboy Tyler. Gatekeeping. Some gatekeeping does need to come back just a little bit, because no, not everything. And here's the thing. Like, did you what? Side note, did you see Suki on the red carpet?
Oh yeah, she said, and she did it on purpose because, mind you, we all was rocking with Suki, and I will rock for her in the beginning. If anybody, I don't care what, if it's a sex worker, I don't care. If somebody says, "Do not be in this my personal space," do not be in anywhere.
Oh, you're talking about when that guy sexually assaulted her on TV. Yes, I'm on her side 100%.
And so we will never ever make that an excuse about how she acts as that. No, but girl, you do not go to the MTV Awards as Suki, and then girl, you know who been walking on that floor, and I know
everybody.
Listen, we not wearing underwear in the heat over there at those events, especially with high slits on, and there you go riding the floor. I feel like you can still be classy and be sexual and then you don't have to always be in character, Suki. You don't have to always be in character, baby. Come and let people see you for you are a person too. I've seen this girl have fun conversations, intelligent conversations. I don't want her to like. For some reason, those people, and I wouldn't say it's Sexy Red because I've never seen Sexy Red act stupid, but when she had attached herself with Sukiyana, they did have a conversation about being unprotected in sex. Like there's no, I'm tired. This year, ladies, we not letting men give us chlamydia. This year, ladies, this summer, we're not letting men give us gonorrhea. Well, excuse me. We shouldn't be letting them give us that at all. Period. Take care of yourself. And she said they know who they invited to the awards. So she understands that this is going to be a viral moment for her. She knows that this is going to go viral. She knows that if with each click, each hit, each number she gets, all the viewership, it's going to create revenue. It's going to keep her kids fed. It's going to keep her housed. It's going to keep her independent. This is what that does. Clout is a hell of a drug.
For a little while, just for a little while, because let's be real, out of the last 15 years of hip hop, how many of those artists actually have money now? Mm-hmm. How many of them actually have homes now? How many of them are still living off the money they got when they were one-hit wonders?
But these people are getting way more money than those people that were one-hit wonders. These people, this is like
they're also, but their lifestyle requires
on social media.
Yeah, but their lifestyle also requires a very high price tag, right? They're burning money just as much as they're getting money. But I still will say that they're not making enough money for this to last, right? If they're like Gronk and saving every penny, sure. But the main reason
this is Ben's retweet, by the way, guys. And look at his emojis at the top.
Because here's the thing, like, listen, I have my own lifestyle of and I don't have a perfect track record by any measure. So I'm not trying to pretend like I'm better than anybody else. I'm better than any of the ratchetness. You know, everybody loves some ratchetness to a certain degree. Cool. I got it. I get it. But one thing I'm sick and tired of, is a very slim sliver, them taking that's not Black culture.
Okay.
But it's taken out and it's promoted to the top of the algorithm, and it's generally promoted by white men who make money off of this, right? You look at all these social media companies that are like hip hop companies, they're owned by white men. You look at these record labels, and I'm not talking about the anti-Semitic trope of no, I'm not talking about Jewish. I'm talking about Aryan Nation white men from the Caucasus Mountains who are sitting back collecting big dollars off of promoting the very worst stereotypes they can of the Black community. And I absolutely hate to see anybody Black play along, go along with it for checks or otherwise. That's just me personally. So yeah, when I saw it, there was nothing sexy about that to me. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, I agree with you. And like I said, I love me some ratchet music. I like getting pretty and listening to violent music. Okay. I like it. I like to get dressed and be in the streets like I'm rolling with a 22 on my side, or I'm holding my man's 22 while he driving. Like, I like to get ready to that type of music. I'm not gonna lie. I like to twerk but some of these and like I said, there's a demographic for all of it. And some people love this music, but I also want to I'd say that this type of stuff is available to everybody at all times. It's not like we can mute it, we can change it, we can kids bop version it. There is like gatekeeping for it. This is everywhere. I do not want my children to learn about STDs in this way. I don't want my nephews and them to just immediately believe that having one or more and treating young girls at his age already and referring to them as baby mamas. I do not want that. And like you said, first of all, Black people are not a monolith. We come in all ways, shape, or forms and sizes and ideals and everything all around the world. But you are right. America will push and push and push and push. Especially this industry will push something that makes it seem like all Black people are like this. We see in the industry, whenever they're promoting Black, they promote this. They promote it like this, and they'll push it that way. I was just listening to a song that I really like I love all music, right? Look, I sound like everybody. All music matters, but I don't like all music for real. But I was listening to Miley Cyrus's "Flowers," right? I think she could have did better vocally on that song, but the damn song is good. But I was listening to it and I said, this is the same girl that partnered with, was it Zaytoven, for a couple of years, and under the guise of being down with Black people, wore jerseys, grills, all of that, and was accepted that way. And then she had a countryside before that, and then now she's into her pop bag again. Okay. And she's accepted for her change. Suki, if she were to change who she is right now into just a lyricist, we wouldn't see her nowhere.
Well, wait a minute. Now I'm gonna say this. Now, there's always room in my heart for a real lyricist. Now, if Suki comes out with some actual bars, then I might say, okay, I got to reevaluate
in this industry. They wouldn't accept it. It's one thing to be sexual, like a sexy rapper. Like we got people like, what's her name? Dang, I forget her name, but she's really good. We have a lot of other good rappers in the game, and they're all like sexy. They got the bodies done, they look good, and they're great lyricists. But the further you push that needle, baby, you're gonna get everything you need. But people aren't listening to Suki for her music. They're watching her because they know the next thing that she's gonna do is gonna go viral. And this is just, I think she has way more talent than just that. She's even been on that show, Love and Hip Hop, where she stated, this is the only way I'm going to be seen more is if I get my body done. And the guy that she was dating at the time said, you do not have to go do this. You are beautiful. Sexy Red, she's with a normal body, slim girl. She's tatted up on her neck, but she feels like she has to walk around with stacks in her hand everywhere that she goes. And I understand, because where she was isn't where she is today. So yes, be that way. But she even knows if she goes into a way where she looks Like she doesn't look like she's from the hood anymore.
Look,
She's not. The people aren't going to mess with her no more. They're
here's
not.
here's the catch-22 for for a lot of folks. I think men in particular. No, I'm gonna say for me, sexy is cool, not sexy red. I'm just saying sexiness, cool. Everybody loves something sexy, right? I absolutely hate the fact that the path towards prosperity for women, particularly Black women, got to go. It doesn't have to, but in this system, it's a surefire path to money down that road that you're talking about, right?
It
Through
is.
ratchetness. Ratchetness is a career path that pays money because this is a system that has monetized ratchetness. They have no problem. Listen, they have no problem taking the bodies of our young Black women and putting it up on television and being desired. They have no problem dropping some stacks on Black women and their bodies. They do it for all kinds of women, right? But I'm thinking about my sisters, right? They will drop money on it. It infuriates me that is the pathway that so many young Black women have to go through. And that's exactly how this system wants it. That's exactly how men want it. That's exactly how rich people want it. That's exactly how capitalism wants it. It is a way to get what they need out of us without giving us anything in return. They get your body, but what are they giving you back? They're giving you some money. Okay, fine. That money is gone. Now what do you?
Mm-hmm. I don't know why you're playing young little Dirk here, or Nicki Minaj. None of those people are part of our conversation. Now, I will say this. I will say this though. I don't mind it, right? What I do mind is now that this content is not only like it's how we used to have to see and watch it anymore. It's available to everybody at all times, no matter what. I do think that I don't want these girls to be capped at this place, these women to be kept at this place. If this is how you feel right now, that's fine. I'm telling you, there's a demographic for it. There is. And that's okay. I got a little ratchetness in me. I used to be the girl that was outside on the tables, booty in the air, head down. That was me. Yes, that was me, right? At some point in time. But I feel like also do not feel like you have to stay in this place. Right here, another person, Krishan. She has a different kind of talent in her voice and how she does her work. But the promotion they literally called them a Bobby and Whitney. There are memes online where people said, you know what? This is the type of love I want. A toxic but real love. Yes.
There ain't nothing real about that love.
Yes. This is what's being promoted, Ben. And I have a problem. Look, now we sound like how I used to say,
boomers.
NIGGAS with mics. Now we sound like the podcast folks. No, I'm dead serious. A lot of the culture right now, what we see when it comes to the industry is going to win first and foremost if they push the needle on the record all the way. This is the only way it'll grow. This is the only way their talents will grow. She was on a show where he was nasty to women. She lost her tooth on his show. He said to keep it that way, and she did. She gave up her lifestyle for this man. She was a track star. She was a track runner. That was her sport. She had a talent, and she literally got involved with this man and continued this relationship with this man, and her life started to go into a way where, yes, she was making money for every appearance, but she was hurting herself. And we see that. But this thing was promoted so much, clubs were paying them to be on the shows. Zeus Network was paying them to be on the shows. Like this is what was selling, right? And this ain't nothing new. We've seen this before, especially when it comes to Black people. Get on a show.
See, yeah, I got nothing for Blueface.
Yeah, then Blueface is known for how he's treating her right now. She's battling right now. So she's going back home. She went back home to have her baby. She went back to her church to have her baby Christian, where she was raised, because she's been raised in the church. So she's going through a identity battle. But I'm not lying to you, Ben. I know it. If I were to sexualize myself, I know I would win in that way. Not because I'm sexy or anything like that, but I know that if I were to sell myself in that way, it will pay. It would definitely pay. It's almost like if I were to go Republican and start taking Republican points, it pays in the space.
Oh, absolutely.
So especially being Black, it pays in the space. It pays in space.
Are Black people, they meaning whiteness, white America, white supremacy, and capitalism want our black people a certain type of way. Blueface, I've got nothing for that brother. Nothing, because I've seen what he does, what he stands for, what he has done to Krishan, what he's his own son, right? What's going on, the baby that she's getting ready to give birth to. Nothing for that brother except to say this: he's exactly the type of Negro this system wants. Right? This is exactly this is the way they want to see their blackness. You only have two types of black people that the system wants to see: either a black step and fetching conservative, or one of these black hyper ratchet, hyper ghetto, hyper whatever. It's nothing wrong. It's not. Listen, everybody is going to do their thing their way. Everybody's not going to be old and conservative. We old. I get it. Man. We're old folks. I get it. But the fact that the path towards prosperity for so many people, black people in this country, is through hyper ratchetness, it's not. That's got to change.
And this is all beautiful. These women are so beautiful. I don't mind none of this, but I think, like you said, there's a hyper. And here, let's talk about Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, although Meg Thee Stallion. I feel like they have some kind of say so in how they want to sexualize themselves. These women are literally working off audience, people in the comment section, industry will drop Sexy Red if she chooses to actually start dropping music that doesn't focus on the color of her vagina or her backside. No, industry will stop her. She has other songs that I've heard that, talk about other things. But I believe that they don't want to hear that music style. We don't want to hear. It's not going to go viral. We need to make it make sense. Sexy Red on stage, they haven't poured into her stage appearance, and I'm talking about how she looks, but literally how she is on stage. They haven't poured into that. They just know that she's going to get on there and say these words, and the crowd's going to go crazy because this is a viral situation. We got to keep it viral. They're not pouring into her talent. They're not pouring into helping her grow as an artist. It's about keeping her where she's at and keeping them here. And every view and every comment and everything, the people are going to want to see more. You're going to have to keep giving them what they want. You're not going to have that control. And I feel like Cardi B has control over the way she wants to sexualize herself. I feel like Meg Thee Stallion is in a place where she wants to sexualize herself. They have control over that. The industry right now, for those other women like Sexy Red and Sukiana and others, I feel like they're controlling how they should be sexy.
I see what you're saying, and I feel that power dynamic. I kind of sort of agree with you on Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B having some power. But I don't know if we can really, they got to test that theory, because I haven't seen them put out what's their new song, Bongos. Like,
I like bongos. I've heard bongos, and
I hear it pops at the club.
There's a lot of sexualness in the song. There's a lot of sexualness
for them to have power, though. Like, I would like to see them express that power. Do something that is not sexually explicit, and let's see how the industry responds to it. If they could do that, then I would say they have that power. But I think to a certain degree, I think Meg and Cardi B are prisoners of the same system. I love Scarface.
Yeah. So there's Scarlip. There's a girl called Scarlip. She is a gangster. She don't rap about sex. She rap around pulling up, murdering people. It's crazy. So there's even that style of rap that we know. We already know. Her name is Scarlip. I absolutely like her. But again, to each his own, there's a demographic for that. Right now, I just don't think like something about the vibes of even this seem a little bit more controlled. But the vibes of the women now is like almost like they don't get it just because you're sexualized. You don't get a chance to appear at an award show as like
a human being.
I'm down and with class. You don't get an opportunity to do that. You got to go in character.
I don't know. No. Listen. Of course, I'm a dude. So even if I was like a fine dude, I still would be at a disadvantage because I'm a dude. But I just hate that that's where they're captured at. I think part of liberation and freedom is for them to actually have the power that you're talking about. And I just don't see them having that power. I wish they would have the power to make those kind of decisions for themselves. But I would rather, this is what I actually was going to say. Like, I don't really have this problem, but I would rather be broke than I have to sell myself either in any capacity, any way, any format that's controlled by someone else. You know how we are, Rebecca. You and I both, like, we push back against everything. Every job that we had, they did something we ain't like. We push back against it. And I really just hate that there's so many Black people who really don't have that option. Their only path out is to be either as hood as they could possibly be or as ratchet as they possibly be. And if they're, if they want to get a double whammy, they'll be hood and ratchet in the same song, and that's their way out. And I just think that is prison itself. That's another form of slavery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what? That's why I say that control over women. So I know you said you weren't a woman, but I can speak from a woman's perspective. I don't mind. I'm a Christian. I dress when I go out. I like a high slit. I got nice legs, right? People are gonna be like, "Oh, that's so unchristian of you," right? Or whatever the case may be. Okay, fine. I don't know. I go to the clubs and past that stage in my life, right? Past the stage of clubs, but I do go out. And when I do go out, I'm that grown woman who's in that really nice dress that's throwing my behind a circle because of where I'm from. I'm from South Florida. It's what we do, right? So culture and stuff like that plays a part. But I know that I don't have to be, if I'm going to an event that I don't have to be in my character or whatever, I'm in a gown, baby. Respect me. I'm in a gown just like this white woman next to me. Respect me. We both are here because we're public figures. She's not here acting as her character. Listen, this is what we're going to do. A lot of people have to understand it in that way. I'm not trying to see every Black person as the talented 10th, okay? Or the Black. I ain't trying to see that. We are not a monolith. Like we do have ratchet sides. We have the sides where we're enjoying ourselves. We have the sides where we like to be sexy. We have the sides where we're listening to this hood music. Like I said, violence and stuff. I listen to a song a lot by T Grizzly and Meek Mill that they talk about going to somebody's house and shooting up the place. And I listen to that as I'm putting on my little lash. Okay, I do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that it's exposure to the kids, and I also think that there's a place and a time. Meek Mill is also somebody who came out and said we got to stop rapping about killing people in songs because of what's been happening to the rappers. Right? He came out after that, and he talks about that. Even T Grizzly had that discussion as well. So we're seeing a lot of that happen right now because now it's not just about the music. People are actually going to do each and everything that these characters or these people are characterizing themselves in their lyrics and their songs. They're going out to do that. They're going out to be that. So I say with the women, if I had an opportunity though, Ben, to make money sexualizing myself, I couldn't say that I wouldn't do it. I'm far past. I told you I'm in my prime now. Okay. So, things don't sag on me, but I ain't there. My mind has already been, shifted and tainted in a way. I ain't as free.
Rebecca Azor, sis, you're 30. What? You're 10 years younger than me, right? So you're 33.
I am 33. I'm 33 years old.
That's the age Jesus was when he died.
That's when your body starts coming in, your hips start coming in. I don't have a boy chest anymore. I can, everything. I'm a woman, right? So I like where I'm at. I think I really like this place. I like this place where I'm at, where I can, I don't know, like it's different, right?
I just want better. I just want better for.
I know what you mean, Ben, and I'm with it.
But I it's going to be so hard for us to get better when people are paid top dollar and given an audience of. They have the largest audiences, right? Let's just talk about Black audiences. I mean, the people who get the top dollar and have the biggest Black audiences, people, like Sexy Red. And that's unfortunate for the future Black community because they're growing up they're not growing up with the fullness of the Black community. They're growing up with just this one little sliver of ratchetness. And yeah, everybody has some ratchetness.
I agree.
But we're this is that much of the Black community, and we got to ask ourselves the question: why so many white Aryan executives are putting so much money into promoting this one little sliver of Blackness?
Because there are women that, like I said, there's a demographic for everything, but the one that I'm seeing push the most is these over sexualize women. And like Sukiana has had conversations where she says, I don't want to be always sexualized. I want to have my businesses grow, not for people just assuming that I'm this and that and that. She had these conversations herself on the platform Love and Hip Hop, even though Love and Hip Hop is very much scripted, but she's had those candid conversations surrounding even her being on that show and what's the changes that she's done to her body. I believe that she's a very beautiful woman before surgery, after surgery, with surgery. She's very beautiful. But I feel like it should not, the pressure of social media, the pressure of having to be in this industry and wanting to be in this industry and be respected in some way, shape, or form shouldn't come at the cost of what you're doing to your body and sexualizing yourself. Because she even says, like, you know, my kids know who I am, but I come home and I take care of my kids. She has 3 of them. I come home and take care of my kids. They don't know me as that. They know me as mom. You know what I mean? And some of these people who also do these things, for instance, like the owners of these phones, like the iPhone, he don't give his kid the iPhone. He said he wasn't, those kids wouldn't be the former owner, RIP to him. Steve Jobs was not going to give his kids the iPhone. He didn't even really F with the iPhone. He is the creator of the iPhone, but he knew what it was doing to people, right? How it disconnected people in some way, shape, or form. While it connected people, it disconnected people as well. So a lot of these artists or who do this, who are in this place where they're over-sexualizing themselves, they don't let their kids listen to this type of music. They don't like there's like, you see what I'm saying? There's a line that's crossed that they do not actually cross. They don't bury or blur the lines right there. They make sure, but to everybody else and what's giving in the world, you're right. These white men who own that's the only way that they want to see.
Absolutely. And the last thing I would say about this is I want to double back to something you already said. Despite everything I have said about Sexy Red and Suki in this clip, not now one of them deserve the disrespect or particularly with Suki, the sexual assault that she endured on video.
Ever.
I don't care how hypersexualized she does herself or exploited by. I don't care what the story is. Neither of them deserve some of the gross things that they are enduring. So
I don't care what they do. Like I said, there's a demographic for all of them. I just ain't in it. And in my opinion, it was my opinion. And yours were yours. But there is a demographic for that group of people. I want them to have more control over how they want to do it. If that's what you want to do, you actually see it bleed over into their craft. I see Sexy Red on stage. They do not pour into her stage presence. They don't pour into how she is on stage. They do not. They keep her with this one look, stance. They don't want her to grow. They don't want her to grow. They got to keep it like that because that's what sells. In today's day and age, going viral is more important than perfecting your craft.
Oh yeah,
that's it.
I would love to hear bars from either one of them would make my day.
Yeah.
Some good bars.
I think they're both beautiful women, and even the other girls that are part of the crew. Glorilla, such a beautiful girl. All these women are beautiful, and I even see Glorilla actually starting to come into her own control of how she wants to be viewed as well in this space. We see a change from that initial let's be so ratchet to her now coming up wanting to take care of her stage presence. I believe that she tapped on, was it Tiana Taylor, for her stage presence to look more than just having her friends on stage look ratchet. Let me start actually doing some like tapping into some, if I want to be sexy, how does that look instead of just being sexualized? How does it look if I'm trying to be sexy? And of course, social media laughed at her, but she said, that's where I'm trying to go now. I want to be sexy. I want to rap and be sexy, not just overly sexualized all the time or talking about hating on men or whatever the case may be. I can see a change happening because she has a little bit more control in, I feel like, where she wants to be and what she wants to look like. It's okay to elevate. You don't always have to be stuck in this place. You can grow, baby. You can still talk about having penis in your mouth and still grow. I don't care. No, because that's what they talk about. It could still be that, whatever it is. So anyway.
I know we got to go. But I don't think they can grow. I think hip hop is intentionally designed to freeze dry people at the age of 19. And no matter how old they get, they got to come back and be that same. Look at how a lot of men in hip hop have not evolved since they were like 19. That's because a particular brand of hip hop that is being sold by those white executives, those white Aryan executives, can't afford to have grown men and grown women representing their life through music. They need to have children, 19-year-olds. So that's why you have a lot of grown men children who like 50 and 60. Ain't nothing wrong with rapping at 50, but at the same time, you rapping about the same stuff at 50 you were rapping about when you're 19. You didn't grow. So
yeah.
anyways,
I think that is happening right now. I will agree with you right now, Ben. Watching award shows and watching, because it's the 50th year of hip hop, celebrating it. Watching what it looks like to celebrate the 50th year of hip hop in some platforms and watching what it looks like how people are celebrating in other platforms, there is a big difference. There is more story for historically about 20 years ago to even about 10 years ago. There is more story in the creating of hip hop and how hip hop is impacted. Watching in the last 10 years, I would say, a lot of the story is I woke up one morning and I went viral. I didn't even want to do rap. I fell into it because I was on a TV show. I made a song. Like, I don't even know who Cool Run D is. I don't even know who, some people don't even know who Nelly is. And that's in the 2000s. Okay, some people don't know the originators of some of this music that some of our favorite hip hop artists have actually taken from. Some people were confused why Busta Rhymes was up there with Coi Leray and Busta Rhymes was giving he was giving his accolades to the person that he took the rapper that he took the beat from. So it's a historical thing, but I feel like the new generation has stopped and doesn't want to know anything about hip hop in the past. They like it when it is quick, fast, and in a hurry. They like this microwaved. I went viral. Don't know who this artist is going to be. Remember back in the day when a CD used to come out? Now I sound old. When a CD used to come out, when a song used to come out, that song would have visibility, would have some kind of representation, would have a hold on us for about a few years. Baby, a song comes out today, it got 1 month.
Is that our countdown to the end of the show? Oh, okay. I didn't know what he was.
Oh, look, that's crazy. But
all I saw was a countdown.
I think this is the Netflix series as it is.
Okay.
I don't know if it is, but it might be. But there is a special right now that shows all the people in hip hop right now, everyone in hip hop. Like I was watching the young girl with the red hair, Spice. I was watching her, and I feel inappropriate because she's been out for about 2 years, and I think 19 years old. We've been told to sexualize her because she's been talking about. She said he like it when I show my panty. That's one of her.
I wasn't nodding to you. I was nodding to a comment. Say that again.
He likes it when I show my panty, and I'm like, at 19 years old, I don't want a 40-year-old man saying he likes to see her panty. That's me. It makes me uncomfortable to see them literally sexualizing a 19-year-old who still got baby fat, who's still growing into her body. And she's in interviews saying that she keeps an extra panty in her purse. And I'm questioning why you do that. But she says, I keep an extra panty in my purse. Look at me. See, here I am as a grown woman. You shouldn't do that, sis. All of the bacteria in your purse with those coins at the bottom. You don't know where that purse has been. Why are you keeping an extra panty in your purse?
Rebecca, use too much. I can't.
That belongs in your overnight bag. Anywho. She's 19. And now we're telling all of the children, I feel like, and y'all can fight me on this. We're telling all of the kids at like 10 to talk about sex. There's no Kids Bop version anymore. We're literally telling them, go ahead and show your panty. My niece was in here saying, who is Nicki Minaj? Because Ice Spice is who I like. Even the emo music my niece listens to, white girl emo music, it's talking crazy. It's talking crazy, and it's making her feel emotions that I think she shouldn't be feeling at damn 9. No. Okay, I'm gonna be that old lady right now. No, not for me. That's for me in my house.
Oh,
no.
Look, listen, I'm having look. Okay, so it's hard I'm a progressive. I believe people should have the space to live and do and be however they want to be. But like you said, Rebecca, as for me in my house, I teach my kids that holiness is right. I'm sorry. I'm just there now because I'm an old man. Not only am I an old man, but like I'm an old preacher now. I teach my kids that holiness is right, not because you want to be so good and guided and all that kind of stuff. No, it's because literally the stuff that's out here waiting for you to get involved in is literally designed to destroy your life. Full stop. Every song you listen to that's being fed to you by the hip hop industry, not by hip hop, but by the industry, designed to poison your life and make you make bad decisions. They're all designed to make you get involved in violence. They're all designed to make you get sexualized before you're way too old. You're not even young enough. You're too old. You know what I'm trying to say. You're too young to be sexualized, right? Yeah. It's literally designed to ruin your life. So it's like, if people want to be free to consume this stuff, by all means, I think this country should be free enough for people to consume whatever they want to consume. But if you ask me my personal opinion, this stuff right here is designed specifically to kill as many Black people as possible.
Rappers are actually coming out and having that same conversation. Like I said, I listened to a specific song by T Grizzly and Meek Mill talk about going to people's house shooting, and I be in my car like, pull that trigger finger, blue, black. That's me in my car saying all those things. But when the recent murders of a lot of these artists, and we're seeing more of that today, we didn't see a lot of that. The biggest cases of murders that we were seeing, remember, we saw Tupac
and Biggie. That's it. That was over a 4 or 5 year period. We get 4 or 5 hip hop artists killed a year now. Before you even get to know who was that was on the interview with DJ Academics and was really calling him out for hyper promoting the violence in drill music. I think it was Vic Mensa. And it's true. It's like there are some artists who are now they're in the war zone that has been created by the music. And so, like when you're in that war zone, eventually some people are going to look up and say enough is enough. And I'm hoping more people would do that. But when you can make millions of dollars off of it, and when there are white folks sitting around who can make billions of dollars off of it, we're going to continuously see this poison fed to our communities.
And I mean, and this, the only my problem is, and this is where I can agree with you wholeheartedly, they're only going to promote one type for us.
That's right.
I don't see, for instance, Jasmine Sullivan is out here singing her face off. And in this industry, they only want one Black woman to be at the height of everything. So it's almost like in any industry. So I love Beyonce, but Beyonce is going to be what we love and what we praise. I think she can sing. I think she's very talented. I think all of that about her. She's great. But in this industry, they don't want to make it so that every Black person has a space or a chance. They want it to literally be the way it is right now. They want it to be one person and one person all, and then they want it to look a certain type of way, especially like with the rappers. Meg Thee Stallion was at the height of our game. Just 2020. We were dog dancing on TikTok to the remix of I'm a Savage. And just like that, this same industry threw her away. She dropped an album that didn't do the numbers that it should do for an artist of her caliber. And they started to continue to push these 5-minute rappers. Glorilla came out. She was the hottest. We haven't really seen much of Glorilla since. We've been seeing Sexy Red. Sukiyana, we didn't even know who she was for real. Now we're seeing more of her because of what they're pushing. They want this particular thing to be the end all be all when it comes to how to view Black people and their art when it comes to music. And a lot of people in the comment section, not in this one particularly, but when this conversation is had, because there's this idea that we are trying to tell people who to be and how to be, when it's not us that's doing that. It's actually the industry that's telling you the only person you can be and the only person and the only voice that you can have. And sometimes it's not even your own.
I ain't trying to tell you how to be. I ain't trying to tell you how to be. I keep plenty of rappers in my rotation. I ain't trying to tell you how to be, but I am going to tell you, if this is guiding your children are going to have some serious issues for you to try to sort through. And I don't even think you're going to be able to. because you would have let your children be raised by the very worst images of blackness that they can monetize.
Yeah.
That's what
I think children should not be I really do. I think especially today's kids, no, and no. Sorry. There's no line. Like somebody said in the comment section, sex ed isn't even being offered because people are afraid to teach their kids about sex in schools. Like in Florida, they do not want to have sex ed. They don't want to talk about African American. But what they're being taught is through this music. Sorry, right. There's no balance here. So no, I don't want my kid believing that she needs to be with an STI and if she's in a relationship. Toxic relationships are the thing to be had. No, sorry, there's no balance. So until we can get that balance where they can understand what the difference is, then hell no. No and no and no. Sorry.
It's for me in my house.
Yeah, that's for me in my house. That's what it'll be. Our producer has to go do white people stuff like walk his dog, and I know Ben got to go take care of his family.
Got some kids been knocking on the door all service. I mean, all shows.
All service because Ben be preaching. This ain't a service, but listen, you guys. Thank you for being here with us. We're at the end of the show. Don't forget we have a merch store now. Make sure y'all hit it up. Head to the merch store. Hey, if you are not a patron. Okay, head over to patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/like it or not. Right now, we have 101 members. With your help, you guys could continue to help us do the show, stay together, right? Be here for you guys more often because we're all trying to be free and we're all trying to make sure we get you the messages, that good news. Okay, we're trying to make sure we give you that from our point of view. You don't have much of that in this space on the internet. You don't hear Black voices. You don't hear the perspective of politics from Black voices that put in Black issues that they are wanting to leave out. We're here. You guys, make sure to support. If you guys want to support directly, my Cash App is Becca's Voice. You got BPD 2018.
That's me.
BPD 2018, DJ X3C, and DKG 87. Yeah. I believe that's what it was. You guys, so I said those Cash Apps. You guys, if you want to give to us, if you want to give to the merch, if you want to become a Patreon, make sure you do so. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe, because each of those definitely help us. Head over to my personal page at Rebecca Azor on YouTube to help me be able to monetize as well. On my personal page, that's Rebecca Azor. You're going to find a lot of content that's to come. I told you guys this fall, I'm dropping a series where I'm only going to do good news. And I'm dropping it exclusively. The show name right now, like it or not. You guys, this is exclusive. The Shades of Good News. That's going to be dropping here at the end of September on Rebecca Azor's page exclusively. The Shades of Good News. All right. Y'all know it's going to be Black. I'm at the end of the show. Ben's at the end of the show. Go be with your family. I'm going to go ahead and take care of my home. I love you guys. Mean it. We'll see you.
Shout out to Lateef and the Black men that sit around Lateef, them grown Black men. Ain't nothing like grown Black men sitting on the porch watching something and sipping on a little cognac on a Saturday afternoon.
I love that. And you know it got to be dark.
It's got to be dark liquor. It got to
be dark. You can't be on the porch drinking vodka. I'm going to be worried about you. No. I love y'all so much. Mean it. See you.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but your words can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, I ain't been right more than I've been wrong, and it still can't hurt me. No, it just can't hurt me.